and welcome back to the crazy to believe it's the fifth time, installment of, let me mute my notifications, the fifth installment of Programming with AJ and Neurosity. I'm hacking my productivity today. I've got a lot of really cool features planned out, and I really want to start making this thing that I've been working on for the past couple sessions, of tracking and understanding and getting analysis on this activity I've gotten from this brainwave sensor. I really want to start making more sense of it. So we've got this terrific brain reading sensor, and at Neurosity we sort of believe this idea that programmers will, like in the future, programmers will be using brain computers to make themselves even better programmers. It's like if monks mastered focus first, then programmers will do it. Programmers are going to be the next wave of people to really master focus because we care so much about it, and prolific programmers are tremendous focusers. So if we can help everyone sort of get this amazing ability of focus, it starts there. We're going to start helping people be more efficient, and that's really like our core mission right now at Neurosity. And the way we do that is we create this device that taps into these different brainwaves that we've recognized that have an association with focus. We then map these, we track these, and we create metrics out of these. And so today, I want to work on something that is very near and dear, and I'll share my screen and sort of show you what I've been working on. If we go over here, go to the laptop, and you can see over here that I'm counting the number of distractions from the focus state that I have. And that's really what we're working towards right now. Is we're trying to count, and I'll take this off for a second so it stops running. And let's just take, for example, some work that I did earlier. I was reading a book from this time, 4:57 to 5:10, and you can see that the data looks incredibly interesting. This was just when I was talking and using it, obviously not focused at all, but here you can see the calm is the purple, is actually pretty good. Pretty high, and then the really interesting focus, which is gamma based, let's see, it goes up as I read. So I was sitting here reading, and I just think it's amazing that the gamma started off around an average of 0.28, and then it slowly increases, and as I felt I was getting into it, and then waned at the end. So we really are producing some terrific metrics that I'm constantly pushing to make more sense of. There's a couple big things that I want to do today. And the first one is the idea of adding sessions to, and I wrote them on Post-it notes so we stay focused. That always helps me, is when I write my little user stories on Post-its. So the first one is add the idea of a session to the productivity data, right? So what's that mean? So if we think about this here, we see 3:55 p.m. is when I unplugged the headset, and I was wearing it or not wearing it, I think, at this time. And then we're going to have a time jump, 3:55, 3:57, 4:52, right? So we have this jump where we go from 3:56 p.m. Let me know if you can't read that. I can try and make it a little bit bigger. 3:56 p.m. and then it jumps to 4:53. And then it jumps over here after the session. So I had it from 4:53 to 5:16. I was wearing it, I was reading, I was doing great. And then I stopped. And then this is another session over here that I was just doing with you guys. So the whole idea here is that if we want to create scores based off of these different sessions, right? So maybe the session in the morning was really bad, and I need to understand that. I want to dig into that. I want to know why was it really bad. And then the session at the end was really good. So, how much time did I lose in this beginning part, and how much time, did I lose in this second part? And I want to start tearing away the layers of why this was different and building a mind journal and really improving this. And of course, you can dive back to different days, but that's really where I'd like to start, is digging into understanding how this works, and how we can start using the timestamps to know that, hey, okay, the time between samples went from 1 second to a couple minutes, so we know this is the start of a new session, automatically creating sessions, and I think that's a great place to start. And this is cool, right? It's like it's like, when are we collecting this data? Well, the brain reading headset's always working. So, but when you plug it into its charger, it stops recording the data. It goes into standby mode because it's not on your head. And then when you unplug it and put it on your head, it's in, it's out of standby mode, right? Like up here, you can see it's in sleep mode when the device is charging. If I unplug it, it'll start automatically collecting data again, right? It's an amazing machine. And so, yeah, so let's sort of take a quick look at it, and we'll start coding. It looks like there's an error. So let me just go back over to the code that I was working on. And let's see. If I go back over to here and I do npm start, let me make sure you guys can see this. Make it huge. Dun, dun, dun. It's going to reload. So this is where we left off last time. So, and this is just looking at the focus state. So you have 176 distractions from focus state. Calm. Your total productive time was 1 hour 34 minutes. So you lost 1 hour and 25 minutes. So this doesn't make any sense here. So we got to clear this up, and that's because this data is broken down into different sessions. So first things first, let's get the idea of a session working. Okay, and so we're just going to close that for a little bit, and we're back in Snapshot's day timeline, and we are thinking about open sourcing this soon, so you'll be able to follow along at home. But we got some cleanup code to do, and we're working on that. Okay. Okay, so first thing first, if we come look at here, we can look at, here we're looping through every single metric. So I think there's an opportunity here to know if we've had like a big jump, right, in data. So let's just say let last sample time equal 0. And we're going to say, if metric dot timestamp is greater than last sample time plus 1. I think that's, we'll test this out. I guess it's plus 1,000 milliseconds or 1 second. That let's just try saying console.log new session started. That may need to actually be a little bit bigger just to buffer it. Let's just say 2 seconds. So if we don't receive a reading for 2 seconds, it's probably a new one. So we want to see here at least like 3. We open up our favorite console log. All right, so we're getting a lot of new sessions. 417. All right, let's print out. Let's look at a couple of these metrics and just look at their timestamp. You get 0 to 99. 4807 is one metric, and then 4862. Now let's focus calm. So let's just look at calm. 4807, 5736. So if we take this number and we go this minus this, that's 929. So this should have worked. Oh, I know the issue. So we're supposed to say last sample time. I guess we want to say something more like this. I don't know. Does that make sense? If the current timestamp minus the last timestamp is greater than 2 seconds, mark a new session started. I think I may have the issue here. Let me come back up here and just comment this out for a second. Okay, so let's just, for the sake of it, well, I guess we want to do classic mistake. Timestamp. That'll fix it. Okay, so the number is closer. It's still saying there's 1 hour and 30, there's 113 new sessions. So I don't know why it's still saying that. Let's just save the last metric instead, and instead of that we'll do last metric. Equal to 0. Okay. Last metric dot timestamp. Okay, and then if we do have a new session started, let's print out timestamp and then we'll also print out last metric dot timestamp. Okay, and then we'll also print out, let's do their difference. I don't really like some of this code down here for a second, so we're just gonna, well, probably gonna end up moving some of this code out anyway. Let's just leave that for now. So that's a new session. Why are these so different though? So it seems like if we just make it a little bit bigger than 3 seconds, we should be okay. Alright, let's make it bigger. Let's make it 4 seconds. Ten seconds. Boom, 3 sessions. Okay, so we're starting to get this. So now we have, if we come up here and we say like let number of sessions equals 0, and we do number counter, we do number of sessions plus plus, and then we do We do something like down here, we say count the number of sessions, and we print that. Something like number of sessions. Okay. So now let's just comment this out for now. We'll figure this out in a second, but we just want to make sure that that says 3. Number of sessions 3. Okay. So the first session is going to start obviously 0 to 355. And then it goes to 452. 452 is going up. This is the second session. And then the third session is right here, 635. Perfect. Okay. So now, if I come over here and I start thinking about, okay, so now we have this idea of a session. Cool. So we should probably, this is counting focus, and we're going to try and fix that a little bit too, but for now, we could say something like for let I guess we just say I is equal to 0, I is less than number of sessions, I plus plus. Let's just play with this for a second. So we have an array called focused times, and let's, every time there's a new session, let's get a new array. So we're gonna make an array of arrays, and we're gonna say like const current focused current session focused times, something like that. There may be a better way to do this, but let's just try and get this written first, and then we'll optimize a little bit later. So, and we're gonna say number of sessions, start this at -1. I don't know, maybe not. Could be the right thing to do. Let's see. Number of sessions, and then this is where we want to change the current focus metric. I think we would lose the last one though. Let's just do something real quick where we count the number of sessions in another function. Okay, we're gonna put this here. Okay, so now we have last metric, number of sessions. Get rid of this. Yeah, we don't need any of this. Okay, and then we're gonna return number of sessions. Okay, so I know it's not pretty to do, 2 loops through it, but these really aren't that many numbers, so let's just do it for now. So we're gonna say number of sessions is equal to count number of session metrics. Boom. Now this is gonna be 3. Okay. Number of sessions. Do we want to store information about the sessions? I guess my goal right now is to I think if you go, you do node array from does that work? No. I'm trying to remember how to make an array. Make array from I know I can push an array into an object, but there's gotta be a better way to do this. Yeah, you're just making an array of arrays, but that's just like ugly. Ugh, I don't want to do that. Alright. Let's just say we really want to break up in each session and then process the data on that session. So it's doing it in a separate thing. And the average focus value should really be on a per session basis too. So really all of this stuff, analyze metrics for productivity, should really be sent, it should be sessionized before we run the productivity data on it, okay? So the idea then there is that we need to break it up into sessions. So let's come back up here and say const number let's just say, let's just call this not count number of sessions, but let's just call this get sessions. How about that? Let's just keep this simple, okay? And then here we're going to say let output equal array. An array of an array. Let's just try that. And then we're going to say if it's a new session, let me just try. Thing equals array. Thing equals array. And then thing.length is 1. Here's size. How do you get size of 2D array JS. I'm trying not to do a lot of dimensional stuff in JavaScript, but it's happening. Oh, it's ugly. Yeah, there's no such thing as multi-dimensional arrays. Great. Okay. Actually, I think we can just do this. And then we just say push a new array into it, and then we say output the index of number of sessions is equal to metric. No, metrics, metric. Okay. And then we're going to return output. That should work. Let's try this. Don't need this right now. Don't need this. Don't need this. Let's just pause on this. Okay. Const, and then we're going to say const sessions is equal to get sessions, and we're going to send it filtered metrics, and then instead of this, we're going to say console.log sessions. There's got to be a better way to debug this. Okay, is this right? Oh, we got to restart this. All right, so let's see how this is. If you have any questions, feel free to. Oh, hey Morgan. Feel free to drop me a line in the live chat. I see Morgan just tuned in. Welcome. We're in the middle of counting my productivity, trying to break up the different sessions that happen when you work with Neurosity data. It's like you have different sessions because you're letting your device charge throughout the day. So I'm currently working on adding that functionality. So 303, this is going to be solved with a let. All right. See what we get here. All right, boom. There's our 3 sessions, and then here's all our metrics. And that doesn't look totally right. Sessions is right, but it's a single object. So what we actually need to do here is push this metric instead of override it. That should help us. So that issue there was I was overwriting it. So now sessions should be, yeah, there we go. So now sessions is an array of objects. And that's amazing, right? So we have these 1,300 objects from session 1. We have these 1,481 objects from session 2. And the third and smallest session was 88. So I think this is like working perfectly, and this could work. Okay, so now in no time I'm gonna have to learn how to do arrays in React. Oh boy. Which shouldn't be, or how to like draw arrays in React, so that shouldn't be too bad. Cool, so now we have this idea of session. So session 1, this 1,300 data points is up till 355. And then we have session 2, which is 1,400, almost 1,500, which is this session here. And then the last session is this little one, 88. And we want to start creating metrics for this, right? We want to say how long I was distracted for in this session, different things like that, different metrics like that. Cool. So now we want to come up here, and we have this idea of sessions, right? So now we really want to get analyze metrics for each session, right? So then we could say, what is the prettiest way to do this? Well, I can think of some uglier ways, but I guess for now I'll just do another for loop. I'm a C programmer in JavaScript. I'm getting better at the reduces and stuff, but it's new still. Okay, so we go. An array, and then we'll do for I equal 0, I plus plus, I is less than sessions dot length. Then we'll say output dot push. We'll take this down here, move this up here, and then we'll return output. Now, if we do this, and we don't do filtered metrics, but we do sessions sub I, we'll actually be sending it the session data. We're going to get an output that is 3 long of analytics on each session. So now if we come back up here, probably broke something. I'm surprised I didn't. Yeah, so we broke this, which is good, right? So check this out. So now we're going to say day metrics for focus, and we're going to say let's just do this. Focus sessions, and then we could say const, just to unbreak it for a second, it's equal to this sub 0, and we might as well, in the true spirit of programming with AJ, do a console log of that. Uh-oh. Alright, this should fix this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I quit my VS Code. That's not helpful. Alright. Good thing I have a Swift computer. Alright. Uh-oh. Okay, so there's an issue where we're like, distractions, focus. Could be a bad idea. Line 59. I want to say you can fix it with that, but I'm not positive. Nope. Okay, so. Oh no, this one. I don't think this is gonna work. Use state. I think I have to do use state, and I'll do const distraction focus set distraction focus use state and then we'll say we'll get rid of this. And we'll say, I don't think this is the right way to do this, but set. This could be the right way to do it. Had to add it to the React state. Distraction, focus. Here we go. Alright, let's see if that resolved our issues. Woo! Too many re-renders. Okay, what did I do? I guess that kept causing a re-render, which is a bad idea. Alright, so let's remove that from the state for a second. And let's just say just comment this out for a second, and we'll comment this out for a second. We will deal with this momentarily. Okay, let's just verify this is working. So we're just getting an we know sessions is working because that's right there. And then if we analyze metrics for this, we should be seeing, you know, a rather large number come in here. I guess it's an array of objects. So that's what it should expect because it's expecting an array of objects. Just find this thing. Where is this thing printing out? Okay. Alright, let's check this out. Feels like something's not getting called. You know? Looking at session. Oh my god, I see the error. Wow. That's a horrific error. I knew that looked weird the second time I looked at it. That's why you really can't use for loops anymore. They are not only ugly, but they also can mess you up. All right, look at this. So number of distractions. So now we're getting, oh, this is awesome. Okay, this is exactly what I want to see here. So we're getting number of distractions for each session. We're getting this great high quality data. Oh my God, look at that. I love this. We could even, I'm going to get to a point where we pop up a banner and say like, I don't know, session completed or something. But look at this. So we have 3 different sessions. We know exactly how long each session lasted. We know how much lost time happened per session too. Obviously, we want to work on that lost session algorithm to improve that, because I don't think it's the greatest. But we can notice already though that even though how bad it is, we know that in this time this was a better this was a better session because of this, because there's less distractions than this session. And I kind of agree with that. So if we look at just the focus data, we think that this session here is better than this session, and I would wholeheartedly agree with that, and I think we'll find that over here too. So let's come back over here, and instead of sending out these like cute little times, let's switch this over to just the time. Let's just do the time, and we'll convert it later on downstream before we actually present it to the user. But let's not send back a string here. That's a waste. That's a waste of good data right there. Okay. Yeah. Okay, one thing I did want to add in here is just a better sum. And I wrote this little function earlier. And essentially, I want to just like sum or get an average focus value. And there's actually a better way to do this than this for loop method. And so if we actually just do const, I guess we could do average focus value. We'll just rename that. Instead of this, we'll get rid of this. And you're actually just going to do, check this out. You're going to do metrics dot map. So we're going to take an object and we're going to map it to a number. So we're going to take metric, and we're going to return metric dot probability, and then we're going to do dot reduce. So we're going to reduce this now array of numbers, and we're going to use that accumulator probability, and we're going to say probability comma 0. Then we're going to divide this by metrics dot len dot length. All right, so that is a much cleaner, better looking way to sum than this ugly for loop. So we'll get rid of that guy. Boom. And now we're doing it the pretty programmer way of JavaScript. You map it and then you reduce it. The what's that called? I don't know. Yeah. So this definitely could work a little bit better. And I don't know if I have the right, I haven't thought exactly on how we're going to fix this averaging, but we will. Yeah, so let's just show you that that works. So that does work. So we have our data. Now, I think the thing that we need to figure out next is how we can move all of this code that we're creating into its own component, because this is just getting to be way too much in this one file, and it's stressing me out a little bit. So I think we'll take we'll take this like we could look at how this line component's done, for example. Well, let's take it from React Charts.js, but let's think about how, I don't know. Let me see here. If we look at I'm looking over at this application that I wrote the other day. I'm still kind of new with React, so still getting used to it. But if we take a look at how we did sounds, I know I imported that from components.sound. And all you have to do up here is import React, and then you use effect. Okay. I probably may need the state too, but let's go back over to our other project, and we're going to create a new one, and we're going to create a new file, and we're going to call it snapshots, I don't know, data or analytics .js. I guess we could really just call this analytics because it's in snapshots. It doesn't. I don't think it really needs to be renamed that. Boom. Okay, we're gonna take this. We're gonna take use effect. Get out of here, metrics. From React, and then we're gonna take. Okay, I'm still getting the hang of this, but I think I can figure this out. We're going to say, are these components or are these Notion? I guess it would be here. So we would say import, and then I look over here. This is the thing I need. So we say in analytics, we go here, and we say function analytics. React is something that returns a view. So we're just going to say return, and then we're going to say we can just return a div. And that should, we could even say hello world just to test it. And now if we come back over here and we say import analytics from /analytics, we can then come down here and we can say line, and instead of that we're going to say analytics. Oh yeah, boom. Okay, now if we come over here we should see analytics hello world. Ta-da! Okay, I don't like that it renders behind that, but I guess that also makes sense. So it is what it is. We could probably get rid of some of this printing here, but okay. So now we've inserted this component into React. This is the pretty way to do React as far as I can tell. And now we want to send in different values into this. So the way we want to do that is we want to send in essentially this day metrics, okay? And day metrics, what is day metrics? Use polling query. Oh boy. Let's just try this real quick. Const queried, so that's queried metrics. Oop. Set, and then we're also going to take, I definitely butchered the spelling, but it's okay. And then we're going to say set queried metrics. Oh boy, okay. Use state, and this is going to be set to let's just set it equal to null at first, and then we are importing use state here. Okay. And then every time this function is re-rendered, it's going to re-poll. Okay. So I think we just want to do... Isn't that going to mess it up, though? I'm not sure. Let me just try this. Metrics. Well, day. I don't think this is going to work. It's equal to day metrics. And if we come over here and we say day metrics, and then we say, oh, why are you 4 spaces? And then we're going to say console.log day metrics. Okay. I think it worked. So this is getting the right metrics. I think it's only going to get it one time. Well, it seems like it's getting it a lot, actually. Okay. On change set selected metrics. So you can call that. So this set selected metrics is calling that when this thing changes. So I'm trying to figure out the right way to have let's see here. I'm trying to figure out the right way to send in these sessions to this function. So let me just try this, and instead of that we'll say const sessions, and we'll say set sessions. I don't know if this is right, but let's just say set sessions, oh whoops, use state, and we're going to say sessions, or we're going to say this equal to null. Okay, and then here we'll say set sessions and then here we'll say, instead of this, we're going to say sessions. We'll say sessions. And over here we'll pass in sessions, 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 and over here we'll say if not sessions, return null. I think we can do that. Or just a div, we'll find out. Yes, there's got to be some way that Alex is doing this using polling query thing that's causing this to re-render. We don't want to call it re-render every time we re-render. We just literally I'm really not sure the right way to do this. So we do const. I don't know. Try that. Sessions has already been declared. Let's not use the state. Okay, so that seems to be working at least. I don't like how many times it's going to be re-rendered though. It's weird. I guess this is weird because like we have this page that's always updating once a minute. It's updating, and that's what's sort of driving this whole thing. So we really need like a function. And that's why there's loading. Let me see if I can do something here. Well, I guess it would have to be ran the first time. Alright, well, sessions is working, so let's move some of this data over there. So sessions is working, we can get rid of well, we can at least come over here. Let me go look up take this out of here. Okay. So then we could do something like I assume you would just do a for loop. See here. Inner loop, outer loop to create parent. Let table. I mean, honestly, I'm down to just take some of this real quick and just like play with it real quick. Sure, there's a better way to do it, as is tradition, but let's just play with this. We don't need this return anymore. That's just like, I don't think a thing anymore. I don't know why these are so ugly. And that's because there's a hello world above it. Okay. Well, let's just see if this is working. Oh, well, I don't need this anymore, I don't think. Create table is not defined. Well, I don't think this is gonna work. Huh. Alright, so it did work, but someone tells me that that is not the right way to do it in React. TD, we need key, and this should be equal to I think I have to add key values in here, so I'm going to do that real quick. I think that would work. Alright, at least no one's yelling at me this time. Oh. Cannot appear as a child of table. Add a T body thread T foot. Okay. Yeah, something tells me this is not good code. I don't need these children, so let's just get rid of this, move this down here, start cleaning this up. Div, and let's just make this li list item. I think that's what that stands for. And we are not going to say children. We are going to say I guess we need one of those for loops, but not this one. And instead of I less than 3, we're going to say sessions dot length, and we'll say const session is equal to sessions sub I, and then we'll come over here and we'll hit Control Z to get this back, and then we'll hit get rid of that. We'll hit save. Come over here, and we'll probably add some of this code, and we'll say session all right, see if that works. Haha. Alright, so now we're starting to look at the different sessions. So, starting to work. We can come back over here. Now we can take this code, this function ms to s. It's going to go over to analytics. And then, probably need some space in there. Let me try this. li div, oh, div. Let me just see what this looks like. Huh, well, gave us a cute little bullet point. That's cool. And then we could say something like session say I plus 1. I'm going to put this back to a table. I liked it a little bit more. Okay, and then I want to just click on this. I'd love to highlight up here. Wouldn't that be cool if we could highlight the sessions, like if you focused over it? Okay, the last thing I want to do is I also want to come up with I would like to come up with a way to say const. I feel like I should do this over. I'd like to move all of this data, all of these functions over to the other. So I guess my question is, what would I have to do then? I would just have to pass day metrics into there. So let's just move all of this out. Let's just break it for a second. Okay. And over here, we're going to pass day metrics, day metrics. Okay, so now we're passing in metrics, and I think I should just control Z this one time, and then control, just comment that out for now. So now we have the idea of this, so we could say something like, and that should work. So let's check that out. Is that what I need? Interesting. I don't really like that, but okay. TR. Pretty sure if I just do something like this. Wait a minute, how do I do this over here? Calm. I'm just looking over some old code to see how I did the CSS on this one chunk. How did I do that? There's a way to change the class, to create the class name. It's in global CSS. Do I have a global page over here? I have not used the CSS over here, so definitely don't want to look in that. Whoop. Interesting. I'll have to ask Alex about that one, how I style each of these. I just want to figure out if I could learn how to style each of these little rows to get a little more spacing between them. If you know how, drop a line in the comment section. But anyway, so let's see here. So if I go ahead and I throw this headset on. We won't do this quite yet. Should start creating a new session. Okay. The reason why I wanted to bring this over here is because I wanted to work on it a little bit. I wanted to create this idea of like what is the quality, and I think the quality has something to do with the lost time to the productive time. So if we do something like this, number of distractions, total amount of time, so we're gonna have to do ms2 time. We have to take this function a couple times and put it here and here. Okay, so quality, let's call it session quality, all right? And we're gonna say const quality is equal to, I don't know, total amount of time focused divided by total time in session. And let's just return that for a second. Let's just see what that looks like. So now if we come up here and we say, that looks wrong, and we say quality score, and we say, oh my gosh, I hope this works. That'd be cool. Session dot quality. Whoop. Oh, and here's my fourth one that's coming in right now. It's happening like this second. Okay, so look at this. So this one is the highest quality one, was when I was sitting reading my book with a 90% score. So now we'll do times 100, and we'll do that's so cool. All right, 2 fixed, and we'll have it fixed to 0. Okay, and we'll probably do something like, oh, I know this is just so the wrong way, but I will, mark my words, come back and clean this up, okay? But I need to learn how to do that first. We'll call this A, but I think this could work. And then I want to get rid of this. B, and this is going to be just about your state here. With a quality score of that. Okay, someone's mad at me. It's weird that happened. Uh-oh. Ah, that's the whole thing. don't know what that little thing is. $79, $90, $44. Oh, I know why they're doing that. That's how they add a space. It's cool. Alright, so here we go. So my current score is 73. Session 3 was the worst at 44 because I was literally like just talking. Session 2 had 79 distractions with a quality score of 90, and that's this great chunk right in here. And then session 1 was 79, which is like this chunk in here. So honestly, overall, I think it's a really good start as to what we set out to do today. So session 1, you can see, is clearly defined over here, and then session 2. So I think really good. So next time we'll come back in, we'll clean this up a little bit more. I think the next big thing I want to do is add the ability to calculate, improve counting the number of distractions. I think that's a big area for improvement. Yeah, so thank you very much for coming in. If you have any questions about what we're doing at Neurosity, you can check us out at neurosity.co. We are always looking to work with, amazing developers and help sort of usher in this new era where programmers have an amazing ability to focus. I've really seen from personal experience how prolific programmers are incredible at focus. I want to be prolific. I want to be a great programmer, so I want to use my headset to make that future happen. I think that it's inevitable that you see the best programmers in the world are masters of focus, and they're using brain reading headsets to get better at focus. And I think that's just an inevitable future. In 10 years or so, or 5 years, you're going to see a bunch of people who are programming all wearing these types of headsets. They may be more discreet, but they will be wearing them. So that's the future we're fighting towards at Neurosity, where we all are masters of focus, and we're able to achieve amazing feats that 5 years ago we didn't think possible, just because we're able to focus on a single thought so well. And that's it. So I hope you all have a great day. Stay healthy, stay safe out there. I'll be back probably tomorrow to fine tune this and keep working on tracking and hacking my productivity with Neurosity. Thank you.